Today on NerdOut, we're talking about Cardano Improvement Proposals. Welcome back to NerdOut, the show where we take a look at Cardano and we break it down, but we don't dumb it down. Today we're talking about the Cardano Improvement Proposal, or CIP process. This is very similar to other cryptocurrencies where they have some process where they can intake changes, suggestions from the community. So we're just going to kind of go through that and maybe take a look at a CIP that I've created in the past week or so. So the CIP process is all managed on GitHub, and it's managed by the Cardano Foundation. This is not IOG, it's managed by the foundation. But people that review the process come from many different places. So some people are from the Cardano Foundation. Sebastian, he's running his own company now. There's people from IOHK, of course, but it's just a group of people that manage the whole process. So this is how you get ideas to improve the Cardano ecosystem or the Cardano protocols themselves. There's a couple different types of tracks. So you can do a standards track CIP. These are things that will end up like changing the ledger state or something very core to how Cardano operates. There's process CIPs that apply to other areas other than the Cardano protocol itself. And then there's also informational CIPs. These are kind of like, this is kind of a good way to do something, but it's not really something that anybody is absolutely required to adhere to. And the CIP I'll be talking about today is in this informational area. So I created a CIP. It's called CIP 22, and this is for pool operator verification. And the idea behind this CIP, this is actually the GitHub pull request, and so then the people that are reviewing it, they'll provide comments, suggestions, ways of changing things, and so it's kind of a back and forth process before it even goes into the different stages. I forgot to talk about the stages. So the workflow is, you start off, you create a draft, and that's where my proposal is right now. Then it can either end up rejected for any number of reasons, or it can move into the proposed phase and then eventually active and potentially obsolete down the road. You can also have this on hold status if it's not something they want to implement yet. So going back to this, just kind of showing you the process, comments back and forth from these really smart reviewers of ways that things can be improved. I need to take a look at these comments later. They look new. So a little bit more about this particular CIP. It's for pool operator verification, and it's the idea of some website or service needs to verify that the pool operator is who they say they are. They are the rightful manager of that stake pool. Pool Tool is one example. They currently validate by receiving 1 ADA spent from the pool's rewards account. There's ADA pools. They validate a different way by requesting somebody put a particular special key in a metadata JSON file, and there's others out there. But basically, everybody is doing their own method for validating pool operators. And so I came up with a solution, and I thought this is one way that we could all, in a common way, validate that a pool operator is who they say they are. And so to do that, I'm using the VRF key for a pool. So VRF keys, parts of that are known on the chain every time that a pool makes a block. So the public key is known if the pool has made a block. And essentially it's a challenge response mechanism. So the pool operator requests this validating server, whoever they are, that says, hey, I'd like to be validated. The validating server then sends them a challenge. That challenge is made up of some type of hash. And then the pool operator will take that challenge and they will sign that challenge with their private key. and then they send that to the validating server. The validating server can then check that that signature is valid based on their public key that is known on the blockchain. And if that validation all succeeds, then they are considered the rightful owner of a given stake pool. So then I've got some code examples here of how that actually works. The validating server generating that challenge, the pool operator signing, creating that signature, and then again the validating server verifying and validating that signature, and then in the end the verification should match the signature hash, and that means that they are successful. These are all hosted on GitHub, again, at the Cardano Foundation /CIPs. You can look through all of them there. There's a bunch of really neat in-flight ones that are good and useful improvements, and you can also submit your own proposal to improve Cardano. And that's a quick overview of the CIP process. NerdOut.